Hello, my soul friends, and welcome to this tarot pick-a-card. Today, we are going to figure out what your true life purpose is, and that is what you were put on this earth to accomplish. So in order to figure out what that is and what message the universe has for you today, all you need to do is pick one of these three piles. And there are three different flower illustrations to help you. Be sure to pick the one that you are most intuitively drawn to. So let's go ahead and look at each of these up close. Pile 1 is this white flower. Pile 2 is this blue flower. And pile 3 is this pink flower. So whichever pile calls your intuition, that is your message. What I want you to do once you know which pile that is, and you can pause the video and look at these flowers closer if you need to, but once you do know which pile is yours, you can either go on the track bar and select the pile that you see, or you can go into the comments or description of this video below and there will be links to your reading. So I hope you're excited to find out what your true life purpose is. Let's get started. Hello, pile 1, my beautiful white flower pile. We are going to go ahead and get started by pulling 3 cards from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck. That way we can get a general idea about what your true life purpose is. So, universe, let's find out what is pile 1's true life purpose. What is pile 1's true life purpose? What is pile 1's true life purpose? All right. So the first card in your spread is pleasure. It looks like your true life purpose is dominated by the idea of really enjoying yourself. You really need to be able to have fun and not only be fulfilled in what you're doing, but really enjoy what you're doing. It's not enough to be responsible for something and to feel pride in what you do. You need to enjoy actually doing it. So you definitely have a very fun true life purpose. Let's get the next card. Your next card is focus. So even though you are meant to have a lot of fun, you're also meant to really be focused, really be very attentive. So this does suggest that your true life purpose is something to where you put a lot of concentration in it. It could be something creative, it could be something scientific, but it's not something casual. It's definitely something that you need to put effort into. And then the next card is the transformation card. So pile 1, it looks like whatever your true life purpose is, it's either going to transform you or transform other people, probably both. But it does seem like your true life purpose is going to have a positive effect. It's going to really cause people to bring out the best in themselves. It's going to bring out the best in you. And that is super, super exciting. So let's go ahead and pull some of your tarot cards. So I am going to pull 5 tarot cards from the Muse Tarot. And this is to get an idea of any complications or anything that's really important for you to know, like difficulties. There could also be some positive things in this spread, but let's go ahead and figure out what that might be. Universe, what does pile 1 need to know? What does pile 1 need to know? What does pile 1 need to know? All right, your first tarot card is the Seven of Emotions. This could also be called the Seven of Cups. It looks like you are going to have a lot of options, a lot of opportunities. Not all of those opportunities are going to be good, but they all promise an exciting adventure, something that's going to cause really high emotions. And you do need to be mindful that you don't take the opportunity that could actually be bad for you. So, one thing that I really want you to do when you are thinking about pursuing any projects in your life that may be related to your true life purpose is to really stop and ask yourself, what are you feeling? What do you think you're going to feel when you pursue this path? What do you think you're going to feel when it's done? Because if you do that, you are going to find that you're going to be more likely to pick the right option for you. So let's get the next card. This is the Devil reversed. This is a card about overcoming temptation. It's a card about doing the right thing. And I do think that your true life purpose is going to liberate you. But one of the things that's going to be required for you in order to pursue it is that you really need to look at your bad habits, your bad routines, anything which would be considered very negative, because you're going to have to attend to those. You're going to have to focus on those in order to overcome your worst desires. That way you can pursue your true life purpose with the right attention it deserves, with the right heart that it deserves. So I do think pursuing your true life purpose is going to bring the best out of you, but part of bringing out that best you is really letting the bad parts of you die, or learning how to take that shadow part of you and channeling it into something better. For example, someone who's really angry could, if they can't get rid of their anger, because that's often the case, channel that anger into some sort of passion, channel that into their career to where they're very motivated. So let's get your third tarot card. Here we have the Queen of Voices. This can also be called the Queen of Swords card. This does suggest, even though there's a lot of beautiful emotions in your spread, you do need to think rationally, and you need to think rationally within your own mind. Sometimes people think that doing the rational thing is doing the thing that everyone else tells you to do. However, what I want you to do instead when trying to figure out what your true life purpose is and figuring out how to pursue that path is to sit with yourself and basically interview yourself, journal, meditate, all those sort of wonderful things, where you ask yourself what would be the best option, what is the best way for you to do it. And this does let you tap into your emotions, but it doesn't just have you tap into your emotions, it taps into your reserve of knowledge and wisdom that you've built up throughout your entire life, because you are actually quite wise. That is what this card indicates. And instead of relying upon the wisdom of others all the time, you also need to look at what you have learned, because a lot of your past experiences, a lot of what you've learned about, it is going to inform you about what your true life purpose is and how to pursue it. Now, the fourth tarot card is the Muse of Voices card. This is a special card in the Muse Tarot. It's not like an ace card. It's calling upon the muses. And the Muse of Voices is like the Muse of Swords. And this is really inspiring you to embrace your thoughts, embrace the actions you want to take. So what I really want you to do when pursuing your true life path is I want you to advocate for your own ambitions, your own desires, whatever it is that is going to get you to act. So it's not enough for you to have a plan. You need to make sure that your plan is one that can actually be acted upon, because you have the time and space in order to move on it. So there are going to be people in your life that are going to try to push back against you, that are going to try to stop you from pursuing your true life path, from letting you create a plan that will help you tackle it. And what you need to do is really push them out, really take control, and really put your plan on top, because your plan for yourself, for your true life purpose, it really does matter, and it really is the best one. So let's get your fifth tarot card. And it is the Six of Inspiration, also the Six of Wands. This is a wonderful card. It does indicate a few interesting things. It indicates some glory. It does indicate some success, and it's really, really exciting for you. Look how the woman in the card appears to be the star in a crowd. And I do think the universe is indicating that your true life purpose is either going to put you in front of a large amount of people, like sort of like a celebrity status, or it could put you into a position of respect. So even if you aren't in front of large crowds, it's possible that a lot of people may know about you or may know what you've done. And so whatever you're going to be doing, it is very respectable, and it's going to inspire other people, and they're going to really admire you for it. So let's get some The Universe Has Your Back cards, and we are going to pull two of these cards today. And what these cards are is basically affirmations or encouragement from the universe, and we are going to see what messages the universe has for you today on that. So how does the universe want to encourage pile one? How does the universe want to encourage pile one? Let's find that out. What does pile one need to be encouraged by? All right, your first card is My Vibes Speak Louder Than My Words. So we know with the Queen of Voices card here, this is a Swords card, is definitely about thoughts, it's definitely about actions, it's definitely about trying to act on your plans, but it's because it is a Queen card, it is this feminine energy, it's very internal. And part of the way that you really manifest amazing things in your life and that you manifest your true life purpose is that you raise your vibrations. Vibrations spiritually is the energy that you embody, and if your vibrations are high, if they're positive, you are going to attract good things to you. If your vibes are negative, you're going to attract bad things to you. And this also is connected to something to psychology. Really negative people don't tend to pursue opportunities. They tend to really ruin their relationships, while happy and optimistic people do pursue opportunities and do tend to have better relationships. So for you, it's not just about creating a plan, it's making sure that you are monitoring your psychological and emotional health. That way you are in a good mood and you believe in the future for yourself. So I really want to see you self-regulate, and there are a lot of good ways to self-regulate, but I always describe happiness in two facets. The first facet is fulfillment. This is where you are happy with where your life is going. And the second one is joy, where you are happy in the moment. So fulfillment would obviously be your true life purpose, but it would also be things like family and friendship and love. But joy is more short term. These are things like hobbies, leisure, relaxation, and what will really help you build those longer term fulfillment purposes, all those things, is to raise your vibrations. And to help you do that, look into your short-term happiness. That is absolutely crucial for you. So make sure you're having fun. Make sure that you are just enjoying your day-to-day experience. So the next card is I create mindful moments throughout the day, reminding myself that I am love, reminding myself that love and miracles are natural. So, have you ever basically just lived so unaware of your life, so unaware of time, that it just keeps progressing day by day and you don't have any happy memories? Um, you really need to figure out a way to chronicle your life. Now, everybody approaches this a little bit differently. Some people take pictures, some people journal, other people write gratitude lists. If you're someone who doesn't like basically documenting every detail of their life, you can spend a few times of the year just looking back on the things that happened and creating something, reestablishing your memories, finding some way to remember those things in the long term. So figure out how you are going to keep your memories stable in the long term. Because if you do that, if you figure out how to not only experience things, but build memories that last, you are going to be able to look back at all periods of your life, or at least all periods of your life starting from when you start creating these memories. You are going to be happier because when you experience things in the future, you're going to know that you're going to be able to create very positive memories of the best events that you're going to be able to look back on in the future. So this may take some practice if you're not already doing it. I think some people in this pile already are doing this, but if you haven't already done this, what I want you to do is just figure out how you are going to document things. And there are a lot of different options. Definitely Google journaling, scrapbooking. You're going to find something that you like doing, but it's going to require some exploration. So what we are going to do now is pull 4 cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck to figure out how you can forge a path forward for your true life purpose. So universe, what does pile 1 need to do to forge their path forward? What does pile 1 need to do? What does pile 1 need to do? All right. So the first of the 4 cards is Into the Unknown. You really need to be brave. You really need to try new things. And that is because when you try new things, you are going to figure out that there are so many wonderful things that you actually really enjoy that either bring you short-term happiness or long-term happiness. And it's going to build a better life for yourself. So obviously, you should have some sort of strong foundation. You should definitely have established hobbies, but go ahead and try some new things. You're not going to like all of them, but you are going to find that there's going to be new revelations for you. You're going to figure out that your true life purpose expands. You're going to figure out that your general life expands. And it's going to be really exciting. For some of you, you may meet new people, new romantic partners, new friends, perhaps even new family. But in order for you to do that, you need to trust that you can handle new and sometimes even scary experiences. So go camping at night, skydiving, maybe apply for that job that you want, but you're afraid you may get rejected from. Those type of things. Wherever you sense fear, ask yourself if courage in confronting these fears would actually improve your life if you were to succeed by facing these. So let's get your second card. And this is making a choice. So I do think we did talk about earlier how you would have multiple options in life, multiple opportunities, and not all of them will be good. But I do think you are going to be faced with at least 2 or more choices, and they're both going to be very, very good. And you are going to be stuck in analysis paralysis. You are going to ask yourself, okay, what is my true life purpose? One of these has to be right. That isn't true. They're both right, or all three are right, or all four are right. Sometimes, for example, someone may want to be a writer, but they don't know what genre they should write because they like so many. And the truth is, it doesn't matter which genre they write, as long as they make a choice and they focus, because focus for you is very important. They are going to be able to give the attention it needs in order to succeed. So for you, in order to be successful when it comes to your true life purpose, you are going to be confronted with the reality that you are going to have to pick a niche, that you are going to have to focus on something. And of course, within that focus, you're probably going to expand the possibilities, but you are going to have to narrow down at some point, and you're going to have to shut the door on other opportunities. And that's probably going to be disappointing at first. That's probably going to be sad, but once you go down one of the paths that are available to you, you are actually going to be quite happy with it. And some of those paths, it may take you into the unknown. It may not be the easiest path forward, but it's the most exciting. And I want you to be open to that idea. So the next card is the Wizard of Awareness. Here I am sensing this could be a mentor or someone that you learn from, either in person or you're just inspired by them. But this Wizard of Awareness is going to teach you how to really manifest your true life purpose in a way that suits you, but also really helps you improve the world somehow. So I want you to be very aware when you're forging bravely ahead on your path, that there is going to be someone out there who is going to teach you something, and you should be willing to listen to them because it's going to positively change your life. The next card is the Solitude card. So I don't necessarily sense that you're going to be completely alone on your true life path, that you aren't going to get married, that you aren't going to have friends. For some of you, you are perhaps super introverted, and that sounds like an amazing time. But what I am sensing from the Solitude card is that at some point, you are going to have to buckle down, and you are going to have to really practice in private. You're going to have to really focus, and you may not have as much time for fun social activities. For example, a lot of entrepreneurs, they may be very social. They may be socializing with people at work, like customers or business partners, but for many years, they may not date. They may not really hang out with friends, and that's because they are very focused on what is essentially their true life purpose. And for you, you are going to have something very similar. There is going to be a time period, hopefully it won't be that long, but for some of you it could be a few years, where you are so focused on that, so focused on improving, so focused on manifesting it, that you do turn down social opportunities. And know that that is eventually going to end, but if you are in this situation where you are going to have this solitude, you really need to embrace it. Some people may have a lot of periods of solitude. For example, creative people like artists and writers, sometimes they get so easily distracted that what they do is they rent out a cabin in the woods and they just don't talk to anybody for a few days or a few weeks. That way they can get their work finished, and that may happen to you too. So for everyone in this pile, you're either going to have a few years of solitude where you're just focusing on your true life purpose, and others you are going to have periods of solitude that are quite regular, but they won't last a long time. But what this solitude is for is to help you manifest your true life purpose. So it's actually really exciting. It lets you focus, and you don't have to see that solitude as a negative thing, but as an opportunity to really just embrace your wonderful energy, your wonderful ability to create and to manifest. So what we are going to do now is pull 3 cards from the Starseed Oracle deck to figure out how your true life purpose is in alignment with the divine plan. So, universe, how is Pile 1's true life purpose in alignment with the divine plan? How is Pile 1's true life purpose in alignment with the divine plan? All right. So your first of 3 cards is the 7 Star Sisters, Birthing Creations, Tapestry of Life, Expression. So there are 2 possibilities I sense here. For some of you, this does indicate that you are going to be doing something creative. You are going to bring something new into the world when it comes to your true life purpose. Now, this can be something traditionally creative, like a novel or a piece of art. For some of you, being a parent or having a pet might be your true life purpose. So bringing a baby into the world or fostering kittens, that is what you are creating. And for others, the creative thing that you're creating isn't like artistic, but maybe it's a scientific invention. Maybe it is some discovery when it comes to medicine. But that seems to be the case for many in this pile. The others in this pile indicates that you are going to have like a mastermind group. You are going to have like people who you are really connected to when it comes to your true life purpose. So even though you have this solitude, you are also going to come together and meet with others to really bounce ideas off each other and take your true life purpose into a social element. So I think an example of this would often be charity or something to where you do something or you do your work privately, but then you come together with like a bigger group to finish the final product. So the next card in your spread is Baby Steps. It has the wisdom message of action, follow your intuition before it makes sense. So we know earlier from the Queen of Voices card that you do need to make a plan for yourself, but this plan is a little bit emotional and it's going to be intuitive. You are going to create a plan for yourself, but it's going to be a rough draft. And with you knowing that it's going to be a rough draft and the fact that you have to go into the unknown and in the future you're going to have to make a choice, but you don't know what that choice is going to be yet probably, this does indicate that when it comes to your true life purpose, you haven't gotten the full revelation yet, and that means that you are going to get revelations throughout your life about what you're going to be doing. It seems like the universe is giving you your true life purpose in stages. Some of you may even have a life purpose at one time of your life, and then when you get older, it's completely different. That could be the case for you. And you need to be open to these changes. You need to be open to these new revelations. Don't assume that today what you know about your true life purpose is sufficient, that it is complete. You are going to learn new things. And one way that you can figure out if something you're learning about yourself is connected to your true life purpose is if it's triggering your intuition. If you're feeling this weird desire to connect it to why you're here on this earth. So trust your intuition as you are going about your true life purpose, because you are going to get more spiritual revelations about it. Now, the third card is the Activated Earth card. This has the wisdom message of power places, ley lines, trust where you're led. So this Activated Earth card does indicate that you are going to have to be at a certain place at a certain time in order for some aspect of your true life purpose to be activated. So for some of you, maybe your true life purpose or one of your true life purposes is to have a baby. So you're probably going to have to meet your soulmate or your twin flame, and this person is going to be at a very particular spot in the world. So part of the baby steps in trusting your intuition is if you feel drawn to go to a particular place, maybe to move there or even just travel, you really need to listen, because that is the universe telling you that there is a next phase of your life there and you are going to get some sort of spiritual revelation. So you really need to trust that message, that intuitive download, and work towards visiting that place. Now, these activated ley lines for you, they may be actually quite near. Maybe one day you wake up and you think, wow, I really feel like I should go to the library. So you go to the library. But for some of you, it might actually be quite far. Maybe it is a whole nother country, and that's going to require a little bit more planning. But I think the universe is going to give you a little bit of freedom in how much time to get there. I do think if it's something like you wake up and you feel like you need to go to the library, you're probably gonna have to do it that day or within the next few days. But if it's something like another country, you're probably gonna have months or even years in which you can go to that place. But know that eventually, for most of you, most of these intuitive downloads to where you should go to that particular place, it's probably not forever. There's going to be a deadline, so you want to go there as soon as possible. So the next card is the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and I'm going to pull 4 cards from this deck, and this is just about how you can use your energy in order to manifest your true life purpose. So universe, what does pile 1 need to know about manifesting their true life purpose? What does pile 1 need to know? What does pile 1 need to know? All right, your first card is the Don't Dim to Fit In, with the wisdom message of how are you dimming your light in order to fit in? So I think many in this pile, perhaps all of you, are going to feel almost bullied to act a certain way, to fit into a certain mold. And because of that, you aren't going to show your true self to the world. And sometimes that could be because what your true life purpose is very different from your social network, but perhaps you're a little bit different from the people in your true life purpose. Maybe your true life purpose isn't weird for you, but you kind of don't fit in with that group. I'm kind of different from a lot of spiritual people, and I sometimes don't feel like I fit in, but you really need to embrace the fact that you are an individual. I'm willing to bet every spiritual person probably feels like one of the weirdest people in the spiritual community, and maybe that is the case. Maybe we are all just really weird people, but you need to not try to live out stereotypes. You don't want to live out cliches. You need to embrace the individual parts of you, even the parts that don't seem to fit with that life aesthetic, that fit with the other people in that life purpose or that community. And you are going to feel bullied either directly or indirectly. There may be a subtle influence in order to act a certain way. Push against it. Because if you do let yourself basically be bullied to act a certain way, you aren't going to be living your true life purpose, because part of living your true life purpose is being yourself. You're not trying to live somebody else's true life purpose out, but yours. So you really need to work on being yourself, even the weird parts of yourself. The next card is Imrama, with the wisdom message of where are you being called to journey to? This is just another confirmation that there is an activated ley line basically, and right now you are being called to go somewhere. Maybe it's to the library, maybe it's to a foreign country, but go ahead and I want you to write that down, either right this second if you're writing notes in general, or as soon as this video ends, I want you to write down where you feel this weird attraction to visit, because that is very, very important and you need to go there. You need to make it a priority as soon as possible. Like, that is your next step. Now, the third card is the Great Gathering with the wisdom message of it's all coming together, intuitive hits, soul tribe. So pile 1, you are going to meet other people. I mentioned earlier, you are probably going to meet a mentor. For some of you, this could be someone you're inspired by. You're never going to meet them in person. But pile 1, you are going to meet peers. You are going to meet people while pursuing your true life purpose that are going to uplift you spiritually, that are going to help you manifest what you were designed, what you were put on earth to do. So be prepared to meet them. And these people, you're going to feel intuitively drawn to them. Now, some of these people, they're going to be really, really like you, but not everyone you're drawn to is going to be your same age. They're going to be the same gender, the same religion, the same political orientation, maybe even from the same place. Some of the people that you are going to be attracted to, you're going to be very different from, but you're going to be able to learn from each other. So definitely embrace those people because you need each other. There's something about it that you need. And particularly with this soul tribe energy, it could be other family members. Don't discount a family member being part of your soul tribe just because maybe they're not on the same spiritual journey as you. You're still connected to them. Not everyone in your soul tribe is going to meet in the same place at the same time all the time. Some of the members of your soul tribe are just never going to meet because they have nothing in common. But what they do have in common is you, and you are going to meet them, and the lessons you learn from that person, you're probably going to share with everyone else in your soul tribe. So everybody is going to benefit from knowing you, and you are going to benefit from knowing them. Now, the last card from this deck is Unbound with the wisdom message of releasing soul patterns, contracts, and past lives. So I think your true life purpose, it's probably something very new. It may have some relationship to your past life, but there's definitely kind of like a combo break here. You are definitely going to do something new. You're going to push back against your past lives and against the negativity. So part of what the universe is going to be asking for you to do with your true life purpose is something you've actually never done before. So it's going to feel really alien to you and at times uncomfortable, but also exciting. However, in order to pursue that, you are going to have to get used to the idea of breaking with things that you feel a negative soul tie to. So some of you, you may feel a tie, like a past life tie to be creative, but in this life, you're not meant to be creative. And you either need to break from that creativity entirely, or you need to accept that your true life purpose may not be art or writing, something like that. And there's definitely going to be some pain here in that breaking, but once you do break from that past, you are going to feel so liberated. So just like that Devil reverse card earlier, pursuing your true life purpose, it's going to free you. It's going to be a new chapter in your soul, and it's going to be so exciting. So pile 1, I'm going to end with one card from the Believe in Your Own Magic deck, just to figure out like one thing to hold on to as you take the advice from this reading to manifest your true life purpose. So, universe, what's the last thing you want pile 1 to know? What is the last thing you want pile 1 to know? What is the last thing? All right, your final card today is mural. Be your own first priority. So some of you, your true life purpose will be to help other people, but I'm not specifically seeing that in your spread. There definitely seems to be something very introspective, very introverted, or very attending to your own needs. So this does suggest that it may be experiential. Perhaps your true life purpose is about experiencing something, and your life on this planet is basically an earth school in order to have that experience. Your true life purpose might be to create something, and it's the creative part that is your true life purpose. Yes, you're probably going to share it with other people, but you're really going to feel the creative aspect more than the giving aspect. So what I want you to remember is you need to think of yourself. You need to really be focused on you, your desires, your needs, that Queen of Voices energy to where you are trusting your plan. So it's a pretty exciting spread, pile one. It's really amazing. I think you're going to do something pretty awesome. And I really hope this helped you. If you resonated with this reading, be sure to like and subscribe for more. Pile one, I hope to see you again. Hello, pile two, my beautiful blue flower pile. We are going to go ahead and get started by pulling 3 cards from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck just to get a general idea about what your true life purpose is. So, universe, what does pile 2 need to know about their true life purpose? What does pile 2 need to know about their true life purpose? What needs to be known? All right, your first of 3 cards is Enlightenment. Part of your true life purpose is receiving some sort of special revelation from the universe, or even to spend your life pursuing revelations. And these revelations could be intellectual, it could be emotional, and it could be spiritual, but it is going to transform your mind in some sort of way. And for some of you, you may use this enlightenment to manifest something, but for others, this particular incarnation, this particular life, is all about the enlightenment itself. What you learn is going to help you in future incarnations, in future lives. Let's get your second card. The second card is protection. So it seems like part of your true life purpose is either going to be receiving protection or providing protection for others. You're going to find out which one that is for you. Perhaps it could even be both through the experiences in your life, but be ready to accept protection from others or to give it to somebody else if needed. You're probably going to receive a like a spiritual intuitive download that you should trust a particular person to protect you, or that you should protect another person. So trust your intuition when they send you that message. The third card is Thriving. So pile 2, it does look like you are going to have a very abundant life. Now, I do think generally this abundant life is talking about material abundance or financial abundance, but for some of you, this thriving could indicate a life of intellectual pursuits, or just being very comfortable with where you are, being very satisfied. So it seems like your life purpose is definitely one in which you experience intense fulfillment, intense personal and lifetime fulfillment in what you're pursuing. You're not just meant to achieve something in this life, you're really meant to enjoy the rewards of your labor. So let's go ahead and pull 5 cards from the Muse Tarot, and this is to figure out if there are any complications, any notes the universe wants you to know about pursuing your true life purpose. Now, this could be some negative things that you need to be aware of, but it could all be positive messages. We're going to find out when we shuffle. So, universe, what does pile 2 need to know about their true life purpose? This path of enlightenment. What does pile 2 need to know? What does pile 2 need to know? I feel like I need to shuffle again. What does pile 2 need to know? Come on, universe. What does pile 2 need to know? All right. The first card of 5 is the 7 of Inspiration. It looks like you are going to have some struggles when it comes to pursuing your path, but the good news is that you are going to be in a good position when you encounter these struggles. They are going to be struggles that you can overcome. And there may be a lot of people that are going to try to push you down, try to stop you from succeeding, but they aren't actually going to be successful. They might be successful in the short term, but you need to know, pile 2, that you have just this innate capability, and the fact that you have this true life purpose, especially one of enlightenment, indicates that you are going to be more educated in them in some area, so they may be a bit jealous. So anyone who's going in academia, perhaps your fellow professors might be jealous of how you are succeeding, or your intellectual peers. It could be coworkers, anything like that. There are going to be people that are going to be jealous of your success, and they are going to try to stop you, and they're going to realize that you can succeed, and because you can succeed and there can only be so many people at the top, they're going to want to push you down, but it's not going to work. So the second card is the 5 of Materials. Now this is interesting. It does suggest you will have a period of poverty or a period of material struggle. It could also indicate that you may have some spiritual poverty too. It would be very temporary. And what the universe is saying is, in order to escape this material or spiritual problem along your path, is to get in touch with your spiritual side, your spirit guides, your religious path. It will provide you comfort during this time, but it will also help you to put your life into perspective, and that will help you reorient things in order to get back on track. Because remember, pile 2, your life, your true life purpose is one of enlightenment and special revelation. So in order to receive that special revelation, in order to receive your intuitive downloads, you are really going to need a consistent spiritual practice in order to receive that. And of course, you are going to have, you're probably not going to be able to pray or meditate every day. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you ever feel like you've gone weeks or months without doing anything spiritual, you should know that's probably hurting you, and you should have some sort of habit or routine that you can go back to frequently enough to where it's a normal part of your life instead of a special part of your life. Also, with this protection card, I'm thinking this protection card also indicates that you are going to receive a lot of spiritual protection, a lot of spiritual messages, but in order to get those messages, in order to get that assistance, in order to accept the help that is being sent your way, you are going to need that spiritual connection. So make sure you have that in order so you can be connected to the divine. So your third tarot card is the Eight of Inspiration reversed. This is similar to the Eight of Wands reversed in tarot, and this suggests that things are going to be a little bit slow on your path. And I actually think that makes sense because your true life purpose is heavily about enlightenment. And so even though you are going to receive special revelations, at times it's going to feel like you can't really manifest things or that a lot of things aren't happening. That is not a bad thing. Like the fact that things are slowing down, it is so that way you can stop and focus on the revelations you're receiving, on whatever enlightenment path you're pursuing, because you're definitely going to have to learn a lot. And in order to learn, you need to be in a very calm environment. And as we do know, there is going to be a sense of thriving in your life, a sense of abundance. That doesn't indicate that you won't have abundance when things are slow, but that you really need to accept that you're going to have a lot slower lifestyle than perhaps you may have wanted before, but it is for the best. And the things that you do receive, the things that you do manifest, that you do bring into the world or that you enjoy, it's going to be slow but steady. It's going to be consistent. And remember, part of you having that consistency is having a deep connection to the divine that you pursue regularly with spiritual practice. And it doesn't have to be every day, but maybe at least once every 2 weeks. And that should keep you in perfect spiritual health. Now, the fourth tarot card here is the Ten of Inspiration. This is about your burdens being lifted. You might think that there are a lot of burdens that you have to take on right now, but know that things are going to be a lot easier. And I think with that slower pace the universe is going to make as part of your life purpose, the universe is going to try to give you fewer responsibilities. So you may find that at work you may not get as many projects as you would like, but that is so that way the projects you do get are the projects you can focus on. And this is true anywhere else in life. Maybe you don't have as many friends as you would like. That is really just the universe saying, hey, you should have friends, but focus more on quality than quantity. And that is something I want you to really take away from this reading. Quality over quantity. You really need to focus on deep and important time. Don't just try to commodify your life. Really make it luxurious, really make it just amazing. And you are going to find that your life purpose and the rest of your life really will be a much better experience overall. So the fifth tarot card is the Two of Emotions reversed. This is similar to the Two of Cups in tarot, and this indicates for some of you that you may not get married, or that you may not start a business. It basically says that some sort of long-term commitment that you are perhaps hoping for may not turn out. And it's mostly to make sure that you are committed to the right thing. So often when you consider your life, you really need to prioritize. You need to think of your top priority. And Christians, for example, even though they may love their spouses, they may love their kids, their top priority in life is always God. And that may seem strange on the outside for someone who isn't religious or who isn't Christian, but the idea that Christians have is that if they make God their priority, everything else will fall in place. And for you, your priority is going to be enlightenment. If you don't make enlightenment your priority, however that is going to work out in your life, then you're not going to be able to have other commitments, right? If you don't have enlightenment as your top priority, you may find it very difficult to be in a long-term relationship or to start a business. And that's because you may be letting these take such a big priority that your enlightenment just completely disappears from your life. And so by focusing on enlightenment, you will be able to make this make sense. So perhaps you end up finding a significant other who really respects or compliments your enlightenment's pursuits. They don't obstruct you. And if you, for example, have kids, which can be a huge commitment, you figure out how to raise them while still understanding your ultimate priority. So understand that it doesn't mean you can't have other priorities, other big things going on in your life, but that they need to maybe not necessarily be second to enlightenment, but that they stem from enlightenment, that they are subsidiaries of your enlightenment, that they are dependents to your enlightenment, and that will help shape your life a lot better. So what I'm going to do now is pull 2 cards from the Universe Has Your Back deck, and these are just encouraging messages that the universe has for you when it comes to these challenges and your life purpose in general. So universe, what does pile 2 need to know? What encouragement do you have for them when it comes to pursuing their life purpose of enlightenment? All right, universe, what does pile 2 need to know? What does pile 2 need to know? What does pile 2 need to know? I feel like I need to shuffle 2 more times. Your pile just doesn't want to be shuffled 3 times. It's how I normally shuffle when it comes to reading tarot oracle cards, is shuffling 3 times. But for some reason, your spread today just doesn't want that. Okay, one more time. All right, your first card is I choose love no matter what. So when it comes to your enlightenment path, it needs to be something that you really feel passionate about. I often hear of people that pursue academia. I think a lot of people in this spread will be interested in that, but not everyone. They end up going to school for over a decade and they fall out of love with their topic. And when they do that, the problem is they can't be as devoted to getting tenure, to becoming a professor. And it could be because they just picked something in order to go down the academic path. And you can't just pick something when it comes to enlightenment. You can't just pick an enlightenment path because you feel like you have to. If necessary, you may need to wait until you find what you truly love to do. And the good thing is with this enlightenment path is there is definitely like this huge time period where you can discover, where you can explore. And that's something I really want you to do. I want you to use your leisure time, if you don't already know as soon as you get this reading, oh, like this is my enlightenment path. I want you to explore all your interests until that interest really starts to narrow down on its own naturally. So once you do find your enlightenment path, even if you don't realize you found it, you will be spending a lot of time on that area until it kind of crowds out everything else into your life, and you're going to realize, wow, this is it. So that is what you are looking for, pile 2. The thing that you love so much that you can just keep going and going and going, even when you don't have a clear plan in mind because you just like learning about it. So let's get the next card in your spread, the next encouraging message, and that is, I find a deeper meaning in personal growth and amid the discomfort. So I do see in your spread that you are going to have some challenges, and I think those challenges are going to come from the fact that you aren't yet ready to accept the specialization of your enlightenment. And that's going to be frustrating. So I love watching Korean dramas, and I guess in South Korea, I think they're called mudangs, the shamans. They usually find out that they are shamans because their relationships never work. Things go wrong in their life, and so people realize that that is the path that they need to take because they don't fit with the rest of society. And so you may think that like a consistent pattern of discomfort that you experience is unnatural, but it could be the universe shaping you in order to embrace that path of enlightenment. So if you are feeling discomfort, take notice of that and start asking yourself, am I being pushed to do something? Am I being pushed to grow? Because it's not easy to learn. It's not easy to study. It can be fun for a lot of people, but it requires effort. And so when you encounter a lot of discomfort, it is the universe pushing you and shaping you. So be prepared for that. And obviously, at first, you're going to be really frustrated by this. I'm not going to pretend or give you a platitude saying, oh, it's going to go away. No, this discomfort that you encounter, it's going to be there for the rest of your life. It's going to be a consistent pattern, but instead of feeling despair over that, realize that that is going to be the push for the rest of your life in order to continue pursuing your enlightenment. So I don't think it's going to be something that you can't withstand, but it is always going to be uncomfortable, and that is by design. The universe wants to keep you on the straight and narrow. And hopefully your discomfort isn't going to be never being in a relationship. It's possible for some of the very spiritual among you in this spread that could be the case. You may have flings, but you may not get married. But there is definitely going to be, for everyone in this pile, a discomfort that is going to put you at odds with society, and it's going to be a discomfort that you are going to have until you die. So I want you to be mentally prepared for that and know that even though it's uncomfortable, it's going to shape you to be a better person and to receive the enlightenment that is part of your true life purpose. So let's go ahead and pull 4 cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, and this is to figure out how you can forge your path forward. Now, compared to the first pile, this pile is more clear about what exactly is your true life purpose, and that is enlightenment. So let's figure out how you can move forward. Universe, how can pile 2 move forward on their enlightenment path? How can pile 2 move forward? What can pile 2 do to move forward? I feel like I have to shuffle again. I'm going to shuffle 2 more times. So because I keep feeling this when it comes to your pile, I do think pile 2, that whatever your path forward is, it's going to be somehow a little bit non-traditional. Perhaps whatever career you end up or whatever lifestyle you end up will be very different from the other people around you or your family. So be prepared for that. But it can also be exciting because there's going to be a whole lot more discoveries for you to experience. So let's get the first card. The first card is commitment. So pile 2, you may not be ready to make a commitment yet, but once you know what your enlightenment is, your area of expertise, because I'm definitely feeling, even though you may receive a lot of intuitive messages in life, it's going to start to take shape to where your true life purpose is to keep learning about that one thing or experience enlightenment about that one thing. And this could be a whole bunch of different things. For some of you, your enlightenment path may be pursuit of like a historical period where you learn all about ancient Rome. It could be enlightenment about love. Perhaps you are meant to experience love in all of its forms. But when it comes to commitment for you, this particular commitment is a commitment to path. So once you know what it is, you really can't be switching things up. Now, perhaps if you find out that your enlightenment path is to study ancient Rome. You may change up how you study ancient Rome or what specific things within ancient Rome that you study, but you're going to find that you need to commit to ancient Rome. You can't suddenly go to ancient Greece or Mongolia. You need to specialize and focus. And although I don't think everyone in this pile is going to go into academia, it may help you to pursue stories or testimonies from people that went down that path and how they figured out what they were going to study for their PhD, how they narrowed things down. Something like that will really help you to figure out how to narrow down your own enlightenment path. So let's get to the second card. The second card is movement. So we do know that things are going to feel a little bit slower for you in life, and that's just because the universe wants you to focus. But here in this card, we see like almost this beautiful garden on top of this bird, this windmill, and the windmill doesn't move itself, but its arms are moving. And so there is going to be a lot of excitement within your true life purpose, within your studies. And even though on the outside, for everyone looking in, it's going to seem like you're not moving at all, your mind is going to move like 1,000 miles per hour or 1,000 kilometers an hour, and it's going to be really exciting for you. So what I want you to know, pile 2, is even though your lifestyle may seem a little bit slower, you're going to feel a lot of excitement in what you're pursuing and what you're learning about. And that is something to really take comfort in. I'm sure you've spent time on the internet where you go down rabbit holes and you'll spend hours and hours and hours learning about something or looking at a new trend or type of video, and it's really, really exciting and you're almost addicted. But of course, anyone who watches you when you're doing this is just thinking you're just sitting there on your phone for hours at a time. That's kind of what I'm talking about. Other people on the outside, they're going to think you're not doing anything at all, but your mind is just completely nourished by what you're pursuing. And that's pretty exciting. So the third card is Metamorphosis. So you are going to be very transformed by your enlightenment, but I see this at a spiritual level, right? You're probably not going to change at a physical level. I'm sure there's someone in this pile whose enlightenment path may be exercise and nutrition, and of course their physical bodies are going to change, but really what I'm seeing in this metamorphosis is that your soul is going to change. There is something about this enlightenment path that is going to really revitalize your soul on a special level, to where your future lives are going to be positively affected. You're probably going to figure out how to deal with karma. This makes me think of people that struggle with trauma or really bad experiences in their childhood. So they go to college to study psychology or addiction. That way they can help others. And so even though they are helping other people, it's clear that what their true life purpose is to learn more about their own pain. And from what they learn, they're able to help others. But their actual primary focus really isn't to help other people. It's to learn more about themselves and learn more about that pain. And that's what I am seeing for you, is really learning how to be transformed by your enlightenment path. So the fourth card is Sad Embrace. So when it comes to your spread, I do think there is a little bit of sadness here, and I think it is because when you learn more about whatever it is that you need to learn about, you are going to learn things that you wish you could have never, that you wish you could undo. But it is important that you learn these things. The universe has picked you for this true life purpose of enlightenment because the universe believes that you can handle it, that by you knowing this truth, it's going to help the universe somehow. It's going to help other people. You are going to be able to hold that truth, hold that pain, and you're going to be able to be positively transformed by it. But because you're one of the few people that can be positively transformed by this knowledge, you are being asked to take it on. So at times, this is going to be really sad for you. You are going to figure out, well, I wish I didn't know this. I wish I didn't have to make this my path. But it is a sad embrace, right? So you are going to feel comfort from this knowledge too. So it may hurt at first, but it is going to teach you things, teach you how to cope. It's going to help you teach others how to cope. And perhaps you will find other people on that enlightenment path who you can be friends with, who you can really understand. For those of you who do end up in relationships, this two of emotions reversed, you're going to be able to upright it because you're going to use your enlightenment path to meet other people. And that's going to be really exciting for you. And it's really going to heal your heart in ways you don't even know. Some of you may end up meeting soul ties from previous lives, and you could only meet them through this enlightenment path. If you didn't go down this enlightenment path, if you refuse this true life purpose from the universe, these are people you would never meet otherwise. Or if you did meet them, you wouldn't know their soul depths like you would through this path. So pile 2, what I'm going to do now is pull 3 cards from the Starseed Oracle deck to figure out how this true life purpose is in alignment with the universe's divine plan, because any life purpose is generally going to be related to that divine plan. So let's figure out how yours is. Universe, how is pile 2's life purpose connected to the bigger story? Universe, what does pile 2 need to know? What does pile 2 need to know? All right. The first card, I'm gonna shuffle again because for some reason pile 2, it's just very rebellious today, the cards, when it comes to your message. All right. All right, your first card is the Great Severing. Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. So I think we did talk earlier about there being some pain that you're going to have to experience, and part of what you're learning being hurtful or really hurting, but that's because you're meant to figure out how to cope. And for you, this negative energy that you're going to encounter, yes, you do have to feel that pain or you have to cope with that pain, but it's actually going to change. Like that sad embrace, that you experience, that coping that you encounter, it's not going to result in a pain that lasts forever. You are going to have a catharsis. You are going to have a release of your troubles. And with that release of troubles, I did pull the 10 of Inspiration reversed earlier, which is about a releasing of burdens. I don't think that your discomfort that I mentioned is going to be the result of a lifetime of tragedies. The biggest discomforts that you feel, the biggest trials that you experience, they are going to be resolved, and then the discomforts that you experience later are going to be smaller. But the big things this card is talking about, whatever you feel is your deepest pain in life, or that you suspect could become your deepest pain when you pursue an enlightenment path, is not going to last forever. You are going to learn through your enlightenment experience how to overcome that. And I think with this softening to love, there's going to be some relationship to other people. So for those of you who do figure out how to meet other people, romantically, friendship, family, that loneliness, that sense of inability to commit to other people, could be completely resolved. So for those of you who had traumatic past and you think, I'm never going to be able to be in a relationship, you actually do have the potential to overcome that completely. But it's really going to require you to confront your demons and really defeat them. And I think especially that word, like defeat your demons, when you defeat your pain, when you overcome your pain, the reason why it's related to the greater story of existence is that you're going to crush out some real suffering in the world. You're going to sever it from the life story that everyone has to experience. So the pain that you eradicate, it's going to be pain that other people never have to experience again in the future. So this is kind of like breaking generational curses and cleansing spaces, really purifying. There's a lot of purifying energy in your path. So this makes me think like really shaman energy, to where you learn how to use your spiritual power to purify the world around you. So the next card is Fall into My Arms, Surrender, Holding the Opposites, Extremes of Life. So your spread compared to the first pile is definitely more social. You are going to at some point be asked to rely upon other people, and at first that may be uncomfortable for you, but when you learn to surrender to others, when you learn to trust other people, because you are going to be asked to trust other people when it comes to your true life purpose, you are going to experience deep healing. Of course, I don't want you to trust suspicious people, so you do need to be very choosy about who you trust. But once you suspect that someone really is who they say they are, who really is a good person, if you let yourself trust them, you are going to be transformed. They're going to be transformed. They may even be very, very different from you, but it's going to be very healing. It's going to be a reconciliation. So the third card here is Perspective. None of this matters. Zoom out, common ground. So this really works very well with your enlightenment path, because I think until you get really enlightened, until you get very spiritually awakened, you can't see the universe in context. You can't see people's pain in context, their joys in context. And I think the reason why you're being asked to pursue enlightenment in this lifetime, rather than strict creation, is that something can't be achieved until something more is learned. And this life of perspective is very, very important. And for some of you, it may take just a few years to get enough enlightenment to start acting, but for others, it is going to be a full lifetime experience. Like, you may not feel like you've learned everything you needed to learn to act until you're very old, or even until you die and you move on to the next life. I think many who chose this pile may come back as spirit guides for others, especially family members, and that'll be pretty exciting. So let's pull 4 cards from the Work Your Light Tarot deck, the Work Your Light Oracle deck. And this is to figure out how you can use your true life purpose effectively. So, universe, how can pile 2 use their true life purpose effectively? How can pile 2 use their true life purpose effectively? How can pile 2 use their true life purpose effectively? And one more shuffle. This card popped out, so let's trust it. Yes. Just say yes. So you are going to be asked to do things. These requests may seem to come out of nowhere, and you may even be resistant at first, but what the universe wants you to do is say yes to more opportunities than you're currently saying yes to. you're saying no way too much. And when you say no, you're losing out on an opportunity to have enlightenment. So say yes more. Because we do know that overall your life is going to move at a slower pace. So you may not be seeking out as many opportunities as you like. So for those that do come your way, try to prioritize pursuing those opportunities. So maybe, for example, someone's studying ancient Rome and somebody gives them an opportunity to participate in a conference in South Africa where they teach others about ancient Rome. And maybe they don't want to do conferences, but something about this experience, the universe is sending it to them because it was meant for them. So if something seems related to your enlightenment, but it really takes you out of your comfort zone, you should still say yes to that. So the next card is Star Mother. How can you mother yourself? So you really need to do self-care. I think of the Pomodoro technique that a lot of students do, to where they study for 25 minutes and then they break for 5 minutes. And this isn't a specific method that you need to try, but the idea behind it, where they work and then they rest in order to not burn themselves out, that's something you need to keep in mind. Pile 2, you are going to really burn yourself out a lot. And in order to stop that, you need to figure out how much free time you need, how much leisure time where you aren't actively learning, because learning is a very exhausting task and you need to take a break from that. And this, your break time probably shouldn't be learning a foreign language. It shouldn't be learning anything. I have a feeling that something you may be attracted to, where you have like these really active hobbies that requires you to put a lot of effort into it. You can't do that. Your leisure time, your break time, it needs to be something very passive. It needs to be something to where you aren't putting effort in. So maybe it is watching television, maybe it is listening to music, and it's not productive. And you know what? That's fine. You need to rest. You need to let yourself rest. Don't try to be productive 100% of the time. It's not going to work for you. You need a break. The third card is Mirror. Who or what is triggering you? So I feel like this could be related to your general enlightenment. You are going to encounter people or ideas in life that make you angry and you don't understand why. And sometimes this could be because you have some blockages and some obstructions to where you feel like you can't like that person, or you can't look into that because it's like forbidden, and that could be a sign to ignore that. And sometimes these triggers, it's not so much that you need to be friends with that person or learn that particular thing, but that you need to understand why it is triggering you. So when you get a trigger, you need to understand that this is the universe telling you that there is something you're missing, and you need to explore what that thing is that you're missing. It could be something that you need to be pursuing, or it could be some sort of intuitive message that you're meant to download, but you're refusing that message. So trust when you're triggered, because you need to receive a message, but you've blocked that message somehow. So maybe get in touch with your spirituality, maybe do a ritual, maybe meditate, and really clear your mind, clear yourself of all those distractions. That way you can finally receive that message you were meant to receive. So the fourth Work Your Light Oracle card is Deep Replenishment. Retreat, rest, be held. So this is, yes, talking about how you need to have self-care and leisure, but it's also the universe telling you that eventually you're going to need somebody else in your life. This may be a pet for some of you right now. It could be family, it could be friends, it could be a significant other. But once you really figure out how to confront your demons and eradicate them from your life, so that way you can make room for relationships, you're going to find that your relationships are actually quite rewarding. It may not be your true life purpose, because enlightenment is, but you're going to find comfort from your relationships. So even though you have this focus in life, everything else will fall into place once you pursue it, and you're going to be able to make use of those things. So even though you're going to be focusing on something in life, you're going to have free time, and in that free time, or when you're having a bad day, you're going to want to use your personal resources, your social resources. So start looking for other people when you feel that it is the right time. That way you can include them into your life. So the last card I'm going to pull is going to be from the Believe in Your Own Magic deck, and this is just a final message from the universe about how you can believe in yourself in order to pursue this path. So, universe, what do you want pile 2 to know about pursuing their true life purpose? What is your final message for them? What is your final message for them? All right. Like I said, pile 2, the cards are fighting me when it comes to your message. All right, your final card is Princess, you can be your own knight. So I think when it comes to your enlightenment, you are basically trying to fill your toolbox of tools that you're going to be able to use either later in life or in your next life. So understand that you are basically arming yourself through this enlightenment process, and every new thing you learn is going to be a tool for you to improve your life, to improve other people's lives, to improve your future life. And I hope that really encourages you. So pile 2, you have an amazing spread. I think you're going to have an amazing life path forward. And if you like this reading, you can like this video and subscribe for more in the future. I hope to see you again. Hello, pile 3, my pink flower pile. It's wonderful to have you here today. We are going to go ahead and get started by pulling 3 cards from the Sacred Destiny Oracle deck, just to get a general idea about what your true life purpose is. So, universe, what is pile 3's true life purpose? What is pile 3's true life purpose? What guidance do you have for them today? All right, your first card is leadership. I was feeling quite a lot of organized energy when I was shuffling this deck, so I'm not surprised by this first card. It seems like your true life purpose is going to require you to be a leader of some sort. This could require you to be in front of a lot of people or to manage a team, but sometimes leaders are leaders of the mind, or if you're introverted, you guide people, you are someone they can rely on, but maybe you're not like a social person. So be aware that being a leader it could be managing other people, but it can also be inspiring other people. You are going to be a leader. You're going to guide other people in life. So let's get your second card. Your second card is success. So I'm getting a lot of strong material energy here. You are probably going to be very successful in your career. You may make a lot of money. This could also be social success or reputation, but you're definitely going to achieve a lot in life. So your life purpose, your true life purpose, is definitely one of achievement. Now, the third card is relaxation. Now, I'm certain that this probably comes as a relief to you because you're thinking, wow, my true life purpose sounds like a lot of work, but work hard, play hard, and that is definitely true in your pile. Pile 3, you are meant to achieve things, but you're also meant to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I really like seeing that in your spread, but I do sense that you are going to have to be very devoted to your life purpose. You're going to have to put a lot of effort into it, probably way more than the average person puts into their life purpose, but you're also going to be able to take vacations and have breaks. So I really want you to know that you should set aside planned time for yourself to just relax. And when you relax, you really, really want to relax. You don't want to do anything related to your life purpose. You just want to take a deep breath and not think about all your responsibilities. So we're going to pull 5 cards from the Muse Tarot now. This is to figure out any complications or bad news or anything like that. Now, all these cards could be positive. They may not all be negative, but this is to give some depth to your reading. So universe, what does pile 3 need to know about pursuing their true life purpose? Is there anything they really need to be aware of? What does pile 3 need to be aware of? What does pile 3 need to be aware of? All right, your first card is the Ace of Voices card. This suggests that you do have some ideas and some plans and some thoughts. They're probably very new. They're probably quite ingenious, and because they're so promising, you really need to figure out a way to pursue them. For some of you, this could be something like a book idea. It could be a business idea, but you need to take this idea, this desire, this hope, and put it into action. It's not enough just to have an idea for something. This is an idea that needs to take shape, that needs to take form. And that's going to be a little bit scary, but understand that when you do start manifesting it, things are really going to change for you. And for those of you, maybe you're going to start a business, or you're going to be self-employed, or you're going to be like creative, you may think, well, how's that going to make me a leader? And I do think you are meant to be a leader someday, but for some of you, right now, you are just at the stage where you are starting. So be aware that when you start this new thing, it may be quite a while before it takes shape and where you are in this position of absolute responsibility or of reputation. So the second card is the Eight of Voices reversed. This suggests that you need to release yourself from the bondage that you've been put under. And I think you are going to successfully do that. I think that you are going to constantly find yourself in situations where you're going to be asked to do things that really don't fit your life, that are really obstacles to what you want to do. And you really need to push them out. You need to free yourself from those, because if you don't, you're going to find yourself managing projects that you don't care about. Because I do think that your leadership, your innate leadership abilities, and the fact that you can actually be quite successful will cause other people in your life to push on responsibilities to you. You're going to be asked to do things just because they know that you can get them done. And maybe you can't get them done. Maybe you know that you would even do it better. But there is often this idea in business that just because you can do something better than your employees doesn't mean that you should actually be doing that. Like the people that are higher up in a food chain, they can't do something just because they can do it best. they need to do what is best for them. So you're going to find that you're going to have a particular talent and you're going to have other talents. However, you're going to focus on that one talent, and all the other things that you do really, really well, you're going to find that you can't actually do them because you need to delegate those responsibilities to other people. And obviously, that's not going to be the case right away if you're just starting on your true life purpose. But as you get further along, you're going to realize that some of the things that you're doing now, you're going to have to ask other people to do. And it is going to be frustrating, but it is going to be necessary. And I think the fact that you have this leadership persona, that you have this ability to guide others, is even though you can't step in and do the work for them, you can help give constructive criticism and encouragement so that way they will do it better in the future. So that is something to look forward to. So even though you may feel that when you ask other people to do things, they're incompetent compared to you, you're going to be able to guide them to do it better. And once that happens, your life is actually going to get a lot easier because then you can focus on what truly matters to you. So let's pull the third card. The third card is the Empress reversed. So this does indicate that at times you are going to struggle to manifest. And I think one of the reasons why is that you have more of a leadership quality than a creative quality. Now, obviously, I do think some of you are going to be in creative fields, but you may find that you're a little bit better at the idea generation or at planning and setting things up, but the actual day-to-day work where you do the groundwork doesn't really resonate with you as much. Now, there actually is a great example of this among professional novelists. There is this author, I forget his name, it'll be in a text somewhere right here, but basically he creates the plans for a book and he teams up with beginner authors and he helps guide them into writing this idea that he has or the idea that he's helping, and he's basically able to produce a lot of books in a year, unlike a lot of the mass market paperbacks that come out, like the thrillers and stuff. It's usually a bunch of ghostwriters working under a name. This guy works with other authors and they're basically like co-writers. And so I kind of see that for you. Some of you may be in creative fields and you may not be doing the groundwork, but you may be guiding the groundwork. And that doesn't mean that you won't be creating to begin with, because I do think in the beginning you are going to be doing all the work that your future employees will be doing. But yeah, eventually you're going to get to the point where you're not going to be as hands-on, and that'll be a different experience for you, but you're actually going to be more productive because you're going to be able to focus on the big picture. So I'm definitely seeing big picture energy in your spread, and that is the reason why you have leadership qualities, because you need to guide something more big picture than you're currently seeing right now. But I don't think you may fully know what that is yet. Now, the fourth card is the Fool reverse. So you are going to make a lot of mistakes when it comes to your life path, and this is going to be very frustrating for you. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to tell you that you're going to be able to avoid these mistakes, because I think these mistakes are meant to teach you something, and these mistakes are meant to help you learn how not to do things. Because part of the reason why you're going to be such an effective leader is you've already made the mistakes that all these people that you're going to mentor in the future, you're going to want them to avoid. So obviously, I'm not going to say that you're going to enjoy these mistakes and these wonders that you experience, but the good thing is that you're going to be able to prevent these mistakes from happening in the future, and you're going to be able to help people, a lot more people, not do these mistakes in the future. So that's pretty exciting. Now, the fifth tarot card is the Hierophant reversed. So I did feel a lot of organizational energy, and that's because you're a leader and you're successful, but I do think at times you are going to be a bit rebellious, and that's not completely bizarre. I think a lot of people in this spread may end up owning businesses, having startups, and when you are doing something that amazing, you have to do things differently than other people have before you, because in order to succeed, in order to create things, you have to look at the world differently. So take advice that people give you, but understand the way that you act on that advice is going to be different. There is this idea that business people all wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and go to work at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock and just start working. And that's true for a lot of them, but a lot of the really big CEOs, they have really weird schedules, and that's because they have the schedule that's necessary for their particular job, for their particular company, and I want you to embrace that. And I think this comes down to relaxation. I think that you are going to build a lifestyle to where you lead others and you guide others to create something. You're that big picture thinker, but in order to have that big picture, in order to guide that big picture, one, you're going to need a lot of rest, and you're going to need to look at life from a completely different perspective. So be prepared to have a radically different lifestyle than what you may assume is required. There's going to be something really unusual about it. Maybe you wake up at 5 o'clock in the afternoon instead of 5 o'clock in the morning, something like that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is pull 2 cards from the Universe Has Your Back Oracle deck, and these are encouraging messages that the universe has for you when it comes to pursuing your true life purpose. So, universe, what do you want pile 3 to know about pursuing their true life purpose? What do you want pile 3 to know? What do you want pile 3 to know? All right, the first card is true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel whatever feelings live below the triggers. So pile 3, it may seem like your pile isn't very emotional, and I definitely don't see a lot of emotions yet, but you are going to have a lot of feelings and you're going to need to process them. And it's going to be scary for you at some times because you're probably going to look at your feelings as if they get in the way, but they don't actually get in the way. They help you process what you are experiencing, and you're able to use those feelings to really create a better big picture for you. So what I want you to do is have some sort of self-care introspective practice. Journaling is a good one, meditation is a good one. It doesn't have to be super complicated. It could just be something that takes a few minutes out of your day. It could be something you do once a week. Some really successful people go on retreats like once every year or so. That could be something you do. But you need some way to where you can get reacquainted with yourself. And I think that's because you're going to be so in your element, so focused on the big idea that you may forget yourself sometimes. So having this opportunity to heal and learn more about yourself will be absolutely necessary for you. The next card is when I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Pile 3, you need to know that the universe is on your side. I see in your spread that you are being given a big responsibility in life. And with that responsibility comes a lot of success. You're being asked to be a leader. You are going to manifest something in this world that either has never existed before or has never existed to the degree that it has. And because of that, the universe really wants to see you succeed, really wants to be on your side, and they are definitely going to be more involved in your life than perhaps you may feel that they're involved in others. You're going to have a lot of fated events, a lot of positive events, a lot of scary lessons sometimes, that full reversed energy. But the universe is always trying to push you to make your true life purpose a cool story, basically. So understand that what you are experiencing, it's meant to be experienced. Or if maybe someone does something negative to you and you don't feel like the universe was responsible, that may be the case, but the universe is going to send something or someone to help you process that event, whatever that trigger was, so that way you can emotionally heal and make use of that event. So always understand the universe is on your side, and the universe is going to try to make everything that you experience work towards your higher good and your true life purpose. Now, for your spread, I definitely feel like some business energy, like self-employment or some sort of big project with employees. And that's true, there's definitely that in this spread. But for some of you, you may work by yourself, and that's perfectly fine. But in that case, you're going to be influencing other people. So definitely something big. You're going to be doing something big with a huge influence. So now let's pull four cards from the Enchanted Map Oracle deck. That way we can figure out how to forge that path forward to make your true life purpose manifest better. So universe, what does pile 3 need to know about their path forward? What does pile 3 need to know about their path forward? What does pile 3 need to know? I feel like I need to shuffle 2 more times. What does pile 3 need to know? And 1 more. It's fighting me. What does pile 3 need to know? All right, your first card is goblins. So there are definitely going to be really negative spirits, really negative people that are going to try to basically ruin your life and ruin your plans. I definitely feel like this is probably going to be more likely to be like normal people, but be aware that there may be spiritual attacks that happen to you. People may curse you. There are going to be a lot of people out there that want to see you fail, and they'll use anything possible to make that happen. If you ever, obviously you're going to have to deal with normal people, traditional ways, but specifically with this goblins card, if you feel that you're especially unlucky, what I want you to do is cleanse your space, sage it, maybe have good luck charms that you carry with you, figure out how to break curses, whatever you need to do to basically reverse your bad luck. And I don't think this is going to happen all the time, but if you're feeling like really strange and that things are going really wrong and it doesn't make sense, it's not coming from your own actions, like your own mistakes, because your own mistakes are quite different, but it seems to be caused by something you have no control over, definitely look into breaking curses and having good luck charms. I think that'll really help you out. Now, the next card in your spread is Peaks of Joy. Pile 3, you are going to have really amazing experiences, like the kind of experiences that people write about or dream about. You are probably going to have super amazing peaks in your career, in your family life, in your friendship, and it's really going to define you and your life. So I want you to really look forward to them, but also you're going to want to shape your life around those events. So if there's something that you really want to experience, for example, marriage and kids, you're going to need to figure out how to work that around your career. I think they can all work. If you want to have kids, have them. If you don't, that's perfectly fine. But any big thing you want for your life, you can make happen. So don't be afraid to try anything. Don't be afraid to have any big thing. It can be yours. Now the next card is follow the leader. So you're eventually going to be the leader, but to begin with, you are actually going to be following someone else's advice. Perhaps you have a boss or a mentor, but not everybody has someone that they know in person. You may be inspired by someone that you read about, and if you don't have this person yet, you should go look for them. And you might actually have multiple leaders. Perhaps you're interested in someone who's very productive, so you read about how they were productive. Perhaps you're really interested in a creative visionary, so you look into them, all these sort of things. You can also be really inspired by leaders in your family, a friend that you find is particularly inspiring. Really, anyone that inspires you, you should learn to take lessons from them. You should learn to figure out ways to incorporate their wisdom. And when you are inspired by them, it takes some time to make those lessons work into your life. So don't expect that just because you see someone as inspirational that they aren't going to be inspirational for quite a while. So you may find that these leaders are with you maybe for the rest of your life. So even when you are leading other people, you may still have other leaders that inspire you. And that definitely happens. So this is often the case with creatives. They may, like singers are a good example, they may be really inspired by another singer and they end up being wildly successful, but they still get really excited whenever they meet their heroes. They want to work with them and they always feel like they're learning from them. And that's something I am seeing in your spread. So the fourth card is protecting treasure. So you are definitely going to be wealthy in life. You are definitely going to have amazing success, and it's going to materialize in a tangible way. You are certainly going to be rich, but it is possible to lose your wealth. You could lose it in divorce if you don't pay attention to your spouse. You could lose it to sickness if you don't get insurance or you don't go to the doctor. You could have someone steal your car or break into your house. So I want you to ask yourself how you can protect what's yours, because it's really important. I do think because of that goblin energy earlier, people, even if they can't attack your like big idea, business, or true life purpose, they will try to attack you anywhere else they can in your life. So to protect yourself, you're going to have to protect your things too. So let's go ahead and pull 3 cards from the Starseed Oracle deck. And this is to figure out how your true life purpose is in alignment with like the greater story of life, like the destiny of the universe, stuff like that. How is what you're going to be doing connected to the divine plan? So universe, what does pile 3 need to know? What does pile 3 need to know? What does pile 3 need to know? All right, your first of 3 cards. The first one is loosen your grip, coping mechanisms, density, addiction, let God in. So I think that you can be easily burned out. I think that you can be easily affected by those goblins. And a lot of people that work hard and play hard, sometimes they don't actually rest, but they let themselves take on addictive behaviors or bad habits. They get into drugs, they get into like hookup culture. They do things that really, really hurt them in the long term, and it ends up being their coping mechanism with their stress because they have no way to relax. They rely on these addictive behaviors to deal with the stress. So I think in order for you to avoid that, in order to avoid your burnout turning into something like drug addiction, you are going to really need to rest, but also because it says let God in, you need to have a spiritual practice. Now, I don't sense like a huge spiritual energy in your spread. That doesn't mean that you won't have a spiritual life, but that your true life purpose is almost more materialistic or artistic than directly spiritual. And because of that, you may not get involved with spirituality as much as you could because you're not going to see the tangible connection. There is a connection. It just seems weaker to you on the outside. So in order to prevent that, have a regular spiritual practice. Be aware that your true life purpose is connected to the divine plan. You are being asked to do amazing things, and maybe with your relaxation, you could make part of your yearly retreats a spiritual retreat. You could have a meditation practice with your spread. The type of energy I'm seeing, meditation is usually very popular with this energy. You may find that beneficial. Some people meditate for an hour a day. I can't do that. You may find just a few deep breaths every now and again to de-stress, or like a 5-minute morning meditation is what's called for. Experiment until you find the spiritual practice, especially meditation, that works for you. Running might be it. Definitely look into highly successful people, what they do to stay connected to spirituality or to de-stress, because I'm willing to bet that at least one thing they do, you're really going to resonate with. And a lot of them do really different things. So definitely look into many different test scenarios. And if you're a creative, for example, Elon Musk may not be someone you resonate with. You may resonate more with like an author or an artist rather than a CEO of a tech company. So the third card is the Void. Stop, embrace winter, great cosmic womb. So you're going to need periods where you do absolutely nothing. I think when your workday's over, you need to shut off your phone or make it so that way you aren't able to be reached by the people related to your true life purpose if it's like a job. So obviously, if you feel like your true life purpose is to have 10 kids, you're going to need to be able to be reached by your kids for emergencies. But even in that case, you need to have like a space of your own. You need to have a place to where you can decompress and not be interrupted for anything that's not an emergency. You want to have personal time, and in that personal time, you need to not be thinking really. You need to be like this void energy. You need to be very passive. You need to let the energy of the universe fill you. This is what a lot of people use meditation for traditionally. You would clear your mind, and then you'd be able to feel your feelings and let them pass you by. You'd be able to detach from them. And I think that's what I'm seeing here. In this void energy, you are going to be able to use that absence to let things flow through you so you can detach from them. And obviously, you're not going to detach from your life purpose. You're not going to detach from the people you love, but the stresses of your day-to-day life, you're going to be able to detach from them. So for you, aligning your true life purpose to the divine plan really requires you to be an empty vessel at times, because the universe can't fill you. The universe can't send you messages if you're so filled up with what you're doing that you're unable to receive. And I kind of got the feeling that doing something with water will really help you. Taking baths, long baths, morning showers, going swimming, even putting your hand in like a bowl of water just to relax, something like that, because water is a very receptive energy, and uniting with that will really help you embrace that void. So the third card here is all paths lead home, with the wisdom message of inner authority, intuition, and turn your gaze within. So your true life purpose is pretty extroverted. You may be social, you may not, but you're definitely working to manifest something in the world. And so you may feel that it's really impersonal at times, that it's not connected to you personally. And that's not true. You are a leader because you are this inner authority, and the way that you tap into that is through your intuition and through introspective practices. So meditation, journaling, you really need to introspect, because I think your true life purpose and all the activities it's going to lead you into, you're not going to have a lot of opportunity to do that on a day-to-day basis. And I know there's probably someone thinking, hey, I'm planning to be an author, so I'm going to be spending a lot of time by myself. And that's true, but you're not going to be thinking about yourself. You're going to be thinking about your big idea, and you're going to be thinking about how to take that big idea and express it into the world. And that's what I mean by your spread being very extroverted. You're extroverting your thoughts, your big ideas into the world. And so you need to introspect, you need to bring things in. And journaling does that. Any meditative practice does that. Any self-care practice tends to do that. So investigate those, figure out which one works for you. I don't think you're going to have time to do it every day. Judging by your spread, you're going to be very busy. Unless it's something that only takes 5 minutes, like that meditation, you're probably not going to be able to do it. So look for something that you can only do maybe once or twice a week at the most. Maybe like a weekly gratitude list, or like a short paragraph that you write at the end of each week, talking about what you did, stuff like that. And it'll be really rewarding for you because it's going to give you that introspective time. But I don't think you're going to be the type of person that could spend an hour at the end of the day journaling. Some of you may be doing that right now, but once you start acting on your big idea, that time is just going to fly out the window completely. And it's not a bad thing that you don't introspect every day, but you are going to need to introspect often. And I keep feeling this when it comes to your spread, but the idea of a retreat. Retreats tend to be something that are a few days, like a weekend, or like a whole vacation that you do like once every year or so. And I think for you, it's going to be really beneficial. Now, a lot of retreats tend to be social things, but writers, for example, will sometimes do like cabin retreats or hotel retreats where they disconnect from their everyday life and they go stay at a hotel for a few days to either write or relax, or in like a cabin, something like that. If you can't afford a social retreat, or you just don't want to do a social retreat, you can actually design a retreat. Maybe you can go camping for a few days. But definitely, I think you should make retreats a normal part of your life. You should make it something you do at least once a year. And if you can't afford to go someplace at all, maybe you can do it in your backyard, or you can just disconnect from the internet for a weekend, something like that. You'll find it really rewarding. So now what we're going to do is pull 4 cards from the Work Your Light Oracle deck to figure out how you can work your true life purpose into life. So universe, how can pile 3 work their light into the world? What can pile 3 do to work their light into the world? What does pile 3 need to do? All right, the first card is the Ever Unfolding Rose cracked open. It's happening for you, not to you. So I think that there's going to be a lot of events. They're going to be complex. You're not going to be able to see all their layers. And there's going to be some thorns, but they're going to be very beautiful events that happen to you that are really going to open up your life. And when these things happen, you're going to feel like you're cursed, like that goblin energy, but there's going to be a difference between the mistakes that you make, like these life lessons that you experience, and that goblin energy. And the way you'll know is that you'll feel like you were meant to experience this. It doesn't cause you like dread. It almost excites you. You either know that you're going to overcome it or you're going to want to overcome it, and you want to face it. As an example, say that you have a business and suddenly you feel like you have like this really difficult customer. They're not evil, but they're like really difficult. And if you get the communication with them right, it'll be really beneficial to your business. That is an example of something happening for you and not to you, because if you figure it out, you're going to be able to benefit from this challenge. So any challenges to where if you conquer them, you benefit, that is an event that's happening for you. It is the universe saying, hey, if you attend to this and you figure it out, your life is going to get better. Your true life purpose is going to unfold more beautifully than it did before. Now, the second card is Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. So in your spread, I see a big responsibility because of that leadership quality, and the universe is planning to do big things through you. Because of that, you are often going to receive intuitive downloads, or even like sort of like an angel that takes on physical form and like visits you and like pushes you to do something. You should try to be as kind as possible to every person you meet, because they may be an angel in disguise who is trying to push you to do something. And that's going to be a lesson that's difficult for you at first, but don't assume that the person you meet, no matter what social position they have, hasn't been sent to you for a reason. Now, obviously, there's that goblin energy I talked about before, but the way you deal with them is that you do conflict resolution, and you break curses. But in general, every person you meet, you need to treat them like an angel who was sent to guide you. And if you do that, you are going to find that your life will unfold in the correct way. Like every step you take is going to feel like you were meant to take that step. Now, the next card is Pleiades with the wisdom message of double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. So you do have your true life purpose, right? Your big idea thing. But I think you're going to have a personal mission. And I often hear this from people that are creative or who have like this big company, and it really matters to them. But a lot of the time they say the most important thing they ever did was have kids. And so you're going to have like a professional true life purpose, but you're also going to have a personal true life purpose. It's going to be very different from whatever your big idea thing is. It may even challenge your ideas of what your life is supposed to be. And instead of rejecting this, embrace this. This goes back to the peaks of joy. I think whatever your personal mission is going to give you a lot of joy and personal fulfillment. So definitely pursue that. And that could be falling in love with someone, that can be having kids, that can be charity, that can be hobbies. Maybe your true life purpose will push you to create a tech business, but maybe you like painting. I remember that when George W. Bush left office, and I'm certain he probably thinks being president was like his true life purpose, but now he does a lot of paintings and he seems to really get a lot of enjoyment out of that. That's what I'm thinking. There's going to be something in your personal life that's going to take on a life of its own and is going to mean a lot to you. So embrace that joy, that secondary life purpose, because you were meant to do that too. And it's not just going to be personally beneficial to you, it's somehow going to benefit other people. I'm sure there are people that really like the artworks that Bush gives them. I'm certain that children of these CEOs really like having a parent. That's something that I'm saying. Your secondary life purpose may seem like it has a smaller effect, but it still has a meaningful effect. Now, the fourth card is Break the Chain, Ancestral Patterns, Healing, Rewriting the Future. So you are definitely breaking from something in the past. This could be breaking from past failures, but because of these ancestral patterns and this healing energy, I feel like when you were born, your life had the potential not to turn out well, and I think it still has the potential not to turn out well. But the universe has given you this true life purpose in order to change things for yourself, in order to break the bad karma, in order to make your life meaningful and worthwhile in a way that it wasn't when you were born. A lot of successful people were born in really terrible circumstances, and you kind of wonder how they ever got out of it. And I think that's going to be the case for you. There is some sort of pain in your past or your past life that has really affected you at a karmic level. And by pursuing your true life purpose, you are going to basically make your slate blank and then make your karma good. And that'll be really rewarding for you at a soul level, obviously. So the last thing I'm going to do is pull one card from the Believe in Your Own Magic deck, and this is just the final message that the universe has for you on how you can manifest this true life purpose. So, universe, what is the last thing that you want pile 3 to know? What is the last thing that you want pile 3 to know? What is the final thing you want pile 3 to know? Just shuffle that one more time. All right, the last thing the universe wants you to know, pile 3, is gold. You don't need someone else to fix you. So when I see this card, I think of the kintsugi. I think that's what it's called. I may be wrong, but it is the idea that when a cup or a vase breaks in Japan, you fix that imperfection with like gold, like this sort of gold thing that fills in the gaps. And even though the cup is broken, when it's fixed, it's somehow more beautiful than it was before. And what I am seeing here is that there are definitely problems, definitely bad traits that you have, but you don't need someone else to come save you, and you don't necessarily need to fix those things. You can use all those bad things, those bad traits for good. A lot of successful people are often so ambitious that they kind of push people over, and I think you're going to be like that too. You're going to realize that your big idea is so valuable that you need to make it happen. So you can't just stop what you're doing and help other people make their dreams come true. You need to make your dream come true. And because of that, people are going to think you're rude sometimes, or like, why aren't you sacrificing your time to help them? But you have to make those sacrifices in order to make your big idea come into life, because it is a worthwhile idea. And so don't expect other people to drive your life. You need to be the driver in your life. And one thing I see in your spread is that the universe is definitely guiding you, and they're definitely going to send like messengers and angels in disguise to help guide you. But because the universe has given you this leadership energy, and because it seems like the universe has given you this true life purpose to fix some of the bad circumstances you were born with, if you choose to take it on, the universe is giving you a lot of free will, a lot of room to roam, and a lot of like choices. You're able to make choices, which means that you are ultimately responsible for what you choose to do. And with that responsibility comes freedom. You get to make those choices. You get to choose how it shapes. Although, for example, this is a very leadership and business oriented spread, you can channel it into something creative if you wanted to, and that is an option. So whatever you choose to do with this energy, know that the universe is trusting you to make the most of it, because I think you can. So pile 3, you have a very bright future ahead of you. I think you can succeed. It's not guaranteed, but I think you can do it. And if you resonated with this reading and you are excited for your future, be sure to like this video and subscribe for more. I can't wait to see you again.